Humpday, happy hour hangout. Humpday, happy hour hangout. Let's get drunk at the director's garage.
Amen to that. Amen to that. How y'all doing? It's happy Wednesday. Welcome everybody to the Humpday Happy Hour Hangout here at the Director's Garage. I'm your host and resident idiot, Michael. And ZMF Atrium or ZMF Caldera closed back. That's what we're rocking today. These will be the subject of 2 episodes down the road. The next episode is going to be a full review of that glowing purple amp back there. Let me turn it on for a second anyway. That's the Aegis from ZMF. Pardon me. And that's going to be the next review. So I've been hard at work on that episode. I did a lot of interest in that B21 episode. It did really huge for me. My biggest episode, I think, ever as far as views. So I was really excited about that. I like doing stuff that people like to see, so that's a good thing. That review will be the episode after the Aegis, which I'm still in post on for the Aegis right now. And then after that, we're going to do the Caldera closed. And then things get a little sketch because it's going to depend on when things arrive. I've got an Audio 46 mystery box ready to go. Love Audio 46. Love me some Audio 46. But I also have a very, very special product coming in. It's going to be epic. Another one of these epic shows. I think y'all are going to be thrilled once that happens. I shouldn't tip too much off because it's not a done deal, but it looks like it's going to happen, and that's courtesy of one Mr. Ryan Dietz, who hooked all of that up. So I'm really excited about what's coming. Should be maybe the end of the month, beginning of July, first couple weeks. I don't know. So, I've set. So I'm working hard on this Aegis review because I want to get that done and do that justice. That's such a good amp. I've been listening to a lot of REM, and because I don't know if you guys follow, the pop culture thing, but they were admitted to the Songwriters Hall of Fame just last week. And at that induction ceremony, they got together on stage and performed a song for the first time in their 12 years since their last tour, because they broke up. They did Losing My Religion, and that's on YouTube if you guys want to see that performance. And they sound as good as ever. That was really encouraging. Sorry, I'm moving some files across because I do have a viewer system today we're going to look at in a few minutes. The REM got back together, and there's a brand new review for CBS Mornings that's on YouTube. It's about a 40 minutes long interview talking about their old times and why they broke up and why they'll never get back together, ever getting back together, to quote Taylor Swift. Just loved hearing about their songwriting process. Just amazing stuff. And then Mike Mills sat down with Rick Beato this week also and did another hour with Rick. But the 4 of them together on that CBS Mornings thing was incredible because you got to see the interplay between them and how they had this shorthand. It's just amazing stuff. And anybody who writes songs comes from a different planet or something. Because, 1 minute there wasn't that song, and then the next minute there was. And it's a result of something inside of them, and working together, and just amazing stuff. So that's really cool. That's the lineup. Now we're on a half an hour late today. Personal life stuff. My car took a chip in the windshield last week, big crack across it, took it in, and they fixed it. but it's got that stuff, that lane keeping stuff and all that. And I drove it off the lot, and about 2 blocks away, all of those systems that relate to the cameras in the front went dead. Like the headlights thing, the traffic sign recognition, the lane assist, all of it just died. And every time I started the car, I'd drive 2 blocks, and then all of those lights would come back up again. So I had to take the car back in on Monday, and they said the camera was broken, which I don't understand, because the camera was working just fine when I took the camera in to have the windshield replaced. So somebody there broke something, and so we're playing that dance. So I'm driving the wife around in her car, and we're having to shift and whatever, and I've got a big shoot tomorrow night. Now I got to figure out how to get there, and all that stuff. So that's why I'm a half an hour late today. I was picking up Mrs. Director from her work and driving her back home. So that explains that's why we're a half an hour late. And cheers, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Juneteenth if you're celebrating wherever you are. Good, important new holiday we got last year, or 2 years ago. Very exciting, very exciting. We'll do the chat in a little bit. We'll get into the chat in just a few. Was there any headlines from today? I can't remember if we had anything new come out this week. I don't think there was. This was kind of a quieter week in the headphone biz. But still a lot going on around here, because I'm trying to get reviews in and get done so I can get back to reviewing other things, and you know how it goes. Okay. So Ace of Spades says howdy. Howdy, Ace of Spades. Cheers. Hey, everybody, says Mr. Dynamite. Can't wait for those reviews. I can't wait to do those reviews. I've got, the Aegis is together. I've cut it together, and I'm still laying it out and figuring out what's going to stay and what's going to go. I'm going to make an episode that is under 30 minutes, for the love of God. And you're probably all going, hallelujah, because we're tired of looking at a half-hour episode every time. I've got to get these things down. These things have got to come in under 20 minutes, really, when I get done to it. More feedback on the B21. Well, I've actually set the B21 aside for a couple of weeks because I've got to do the Aegis review. So I haven't done much of them. Although I did do a little bit of a listening session over the weekend. Ken from Ken's Workshop, he and I hooked up and got together and had a little session of listening to some stuff, and I got to hear his amp, and he got to hear the B21, and we kind of had a good a little jam session on Saturday, and that was really fun. And he dropped off. He made a couple of little connectors for me and a cable, and this will gender change my any of my Susvara headphones into ZMF Meze Audeze. So that was kind of nice of him to drop these off. Haven't had much of a chance to use them because I've been I've been just in the review of the Aegis. So so we'll get to the B21. There's some big fun stuff coming for the B21 review. There's a twist in this whole wrinkle that I don't want to give away just yet, but it's gonna make that review even better than it was going to be anyway, which I'm just astounded by. You guys are just gonna be floored by it, I think, and thanks to Ray Samuels for putting up with me, and thanks to Zach for putting up with me, because I'm gonna get him he sent me everything together, and now I'm gonna piecemeal it back to him. I'm gonna send him his Aegis amp, because I think that's kind of something that he wants to get out to other people. So I want to be respectful of him being so kind as to send me all this top shelf stuff. I've got to get it reviewed fairly and then shot. I still have to shoot that amp for the big episode, the big review episode. That'll be out next Tuesday. Unless I change the production schedule, I still don't know if it's hurting me or not to put out an episode on Tuesday and then do a live stream on Wednesday. If that cuts me off at the knees YouTube-wise. To have, one day after my big episode airs, I go live. And then does that become my latest episode that they're promoting? But there's fewer views of that because it's a live episode, not a full production thing. I don't know how that works. It may be better for me to start dropping episodes on Thursday morning, and then I have the whole week for it to get views, and then I do the live stream on Wednesday. We may switch to that. The only thing that I like about doing the live stream the day after is that we can talk about that episode, and it's still fresh, it's still on everybody's mind. So there's positives and negatives all around. I just haven't figured out what's best for the show. And if anybody knows anything about that, email me at here we go. Email me at directorsgarage@gmail.com. That's my email. You'll get right to me. And I get busy. I can't answer everything, but I do see it at some point. But yeah, and send me your viewer systems if you want to show off your viewer system to our little community here. Please feel free to send me some photos like we're going to take a look at in a few minutes here. And that's my phone making noise. I hope I'm looking okay. I think I saved the settings finally. So I should have cleared this hurdle of me having to check constantly. Nope. YouTube. Let's go to our channel. Let's just see if it can come up. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Live. Let's take a look. Nope. It's giving me trouble. Well, darn the luck. Darn the luck. Okay. All right, so I can't check my. I hope everything looks good at home. We'll find out later. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Get your questions in, get your comments in the section below. If you have any specific questions, I'll be happy to do my best to answer them. What are you guys listening to? So I went back and did a big listening session on the Aegis with REM the other day, and I slipped a couple of headphones, but I wound up listening a lot on the Atrium Openback, which is, the Atrium and the Aegis are just made to go together. I mean, they're just so visually in sync with each other. It's quite special. It's quite special. So, but I got a lot of REM, did a lot of REM, went through a lot of those early REM albums, it was, Murmur and Reckoning and Reconstruction of the Fables of the Reconstruction, which I always get it backwards because the CD of that came out as Reconstruction of the Fables. The album, the LP release was Fables of the Reconstruction. So that's what the independent, the alt-rock guys were doing back then. They would do little games like that. And was working my way up to my favorite REM album, which is Life's Rich Pageant. That to me is that's just like so core for me. That was my freshman year of college. That thing was on the charts, and God, I love that record. God, I love that record. So good, so amazing. It's just amazing stuff. And then Green. Well, the Document was after that, and then Green. Green was the one where they just broke big because they had the studio behind them. They went to Warner, and that's that. That's what happens. You go big, and you get big records. You make number ones. So here we go. Let's see. Ryan Dietz. Cheers, Brian. Thank you, brother. Thanks for hanging out. As always, so good. Anthony37 says, cheers, Anthony. Welcome to the show. Do you use your computer into your system? If so, streaming or downloaded music? Also, Mac and PC, do you use HD player? Give us the rundown. Well, I have a Mac here that's kind of like the quarterback of the whole thing. It's a big, huge tower Mac, and it's where I do the editing, and my music server's on that. I've ported my music library to, well, it's an SSD drive. I don't have an example sitting here because it's in my bag, but it's one of these things, but it's more shapely and prettier. but I've ported my entire library to that. It used to be sitting on a Drobo, which is a 5-drive array that just is a big chunk of drive space. The problem is that Drobo is really loud. It's got, you spin up all those hard drives and you get the fans going and it just fills the room with a lot of white noise. So I don't, so I've ported everything to a nice quiet drive so I can keep the Drobo off when I want to listen to music, and then I use Roon. Now, I also have some analog options as well. I do have a turntable back here, which you see glowing, but my records are still in boxes from the move last year. I don't, there's a plan, and I have a plan to get all my records out and get them on shelves, and I know exactly where it's going to go. We have a wine cellar here that's way too large for any amount of wine we'll ever drink, so I'm going to take half of those racks out and put in shelving for albums, because it's a good dry place to store records. Very ideal situation, especially when I have some valuable stuff in there. But the problem is it's going to take, I'm guessing, $3,000 to get that job done, and we're not swimming in cash. I'm trying to keep the show going by buying new things and trying to get keep things rolling along with the show, and we don't have a ton of like disposable cash. So the records are sitting in boxes right now. I do have my tape. My reel-to-reel player, that is accessible, and I've used that from time to time. It's in the back, though. It's a little bit of a pain to load now, given where it is. I really kind of need to do some reconfiguring. It just seems to look best because it's so tall, sitting in the back of this setup. I don't know. So I am mostly doing digital right now, and I have I try to go with some the downloaded stuff for my core things that I listen to. So I have DSD files of a whole bunch of records. DSD to me is the best sounding format, in my opinion. There are people who disagree. It's fine. Not all DSD is alike. I know some of it has been converted from PCM. Get it. Understand. But generally speaking, the stuff that was encoded directly to DSD is, to my ears, a little better sounding than the 192 or 96 equivalents, or 88, 176, whichever, pick your poison. But I don't have everything, obviously, so it's fun to go to Tidal, and because this DAC back here, this DCS DAC back here, has built-in streaming to it, much like some of these great boxes you have, like Eversolo and whatnot. This is a very high-end version of that, and it decodes anything that is streamed from Tidal beautifully. And there's upsampling going on in there. There's all sorts of stuff going on there with that ring DAC system from DCS. It's a very beautiful amp. It's a very DAC. It's a very clean DAC. I really favor it. It's one of my favorite things I've bought for this place by far. And then I've got the clock. They're timing things too. Just very good setup. So I have no reservations about going to Roon and getting a good quality source. Even the 44.1 stuff off of Tidal sounds really good through this system. That said, it's always better to have, I think it's always better to have the analog or the local files. I just don't have everything. Nobody can. So, and I like to try different things. I like to try different types of music, and then stuff that you guys turn me on to that I make show notes of, I go and listen to when I can, and, I'm checking out that stuff, and I'm not going to go out and buy it. If not, I'm going to listen to it, so I'll stream it. All that stuff. Very good system, but that's mainly what I'm doing. So I'm running Roon. It's nice too because with Roon, once it's up and running on my mother system here, the iPad can be a controller. So I can be kind of hanging over on the back side of the room here with my Tidal stuff, and I got Tidal on the I've got Tidal on the iPad, and I could just call up whatever I want to call up. It's very efficient, very nice way to do things. And fun. A lot of fun, too. And once I get my 2-channel system up and running, which is, that's a whole project, too. I've got to tear down the Vandersteins and find out what's going on with them, and then, you know, finish them. But once I get that system up, it's going to be fun to be over on the other side of the room, and I can just, you know, I'll be sitting in an easy chair, listening to 2-channel stuff in this room, and it should sound pretty good once I get the tiles up and all that. Just so much to do. So much to do, so little time, boys, and I think we all feel that crunch. It's just a matter of time and money, and I'm a little short of both right now. How we doing? Hipster Cow says, howdy, gents. Happy Wednesday to all. Cheers, Hipster Cow. Thank you for stopping by, my friend. Anyone else pick up a bunch of IEMs at the Linsole sale? No, I didn't pick up. I have been waiting for Linsole to send me the Timeless AE, or the Timeless 2. But that's a headphone that was promised 6 months ago, and it never has emerged. It's never come out of beta, whatever it is, whatever land it's in. I've never received them. I ordered them half a century ago, and they have not hit the market yet. I've never seen, you know, they must have hit some major production hitch, because normally like 3 or 4 weeks, and after they announce it, and boom, you can buy it. I mean, the Sesfara will be announced and delivered before the Timeless AE. Figure that out. Sesfara 2. Sesfara unveiled. We're still having fun with that name, boys. Having a good time with it. So I haven't bought anything of note from the Linsole sale. I do have a coupon code for that, but it doesn't get you any discount. It's Director's Garage, all one word. Whatever. Ace of Spades Gold Planar AMT16 looks interesting. I've never heard an AMT driver IEM yet. Very limited but solid reviews for it. Haven't seen anything about it, and I will say I bought those gold planers because they were the over-ears gold planers a couple years back because everybody's raving about them. I didn't get the hype on that one. I just never heard it. It was a $600 headphone that everybody was like raving about, like, oh my God, this is shooting so much above its price point, and I don't think I quite got that one. That one went away very quickly. JTB says anyone who's moved knows those boxes won't be touched for 5 years. I know, no. I get committed. It just takes the right push, you know. My email is stuck on the screen. Thank you for doing that, JTB. Cheers to you. You win the prize of the day. I've been up there for an hour. That's what I get for not checking my own image. Vanity almost destroyed me. Guys. But I've been really, really busy. The Bakoon 13R, I sold that last week. That's off to another land. I sent somebody my 007 Mark 1s just as a courtesy. He wanted to hear them. I said, sure. One of my Patreon guys, and I'm, favor that. If you guys are interested in Patreon, go over there, check that out. We do a monthly hangout over there. I never do any of this promotional stuff. I forget to do it, but yeah, $3, guys. That's my get rich quick scheme. $3, and you are in at the Patreon thing. You can go up to higher levels if you want, but $3 is all you need to do that, and you get the invites to the special meetups, and inside you get previews of upcoming episodes and hangouts and all sorts of stuff. Just kind of fun little adjunct to the show that I've been playing with, and I'd love to get more time so I can even do more over there, because it is fun, and those guys over there are really knowledgeable. Good bunch of guys to ask questions of too. I got to set up some chat rooms and stuff so we can get that going, but it's a nice place. So the Patreon Director's Garage, I don't know, just Google it or whatever. Show up. I'm such a good marketer. Neil Snyder says he's sold his Enlium 23R. Cheers, that's good. He's currently in the hospital under suicide watch. Does this mean that, Neil, you are without amp? That's hard. You saw I did list my Zale HM1. That is for sale on HeadFi and on my in the Director's Garage sale down below. You can email me at that address that was up for half an hour and inquire if you're interested. I'm selling it for $7,500. New that thing is going for $9,000 now, and there's about a 6-month wait on it. So, you can save $1,500 off list and get a really nice version of it that's been babied in a smoke-free environment with the original boxes and all that stuff. And if you're interested in the Zale, it's a really clean amp. My review of it was just, I wish it had just a little more power. But with gain staging, you can get around it. You just got to stage the gain better. Kevin Jacques says, anyone sell something, then buy it back a year later. He bought back his ZMF Icon after being gone for 8 months. I know. Well, I'm going to do that. I have a plan for that, and that's the headphone that's going to be making its way back into my arms at some point will be the Noble Audio Sultan, because that is an IEM that I always thought that I would get the HiFiman HE-1000 V2 back in. I don't know that I'll do that now, but the Sultan is going to make its way back to me in some form or another. May not be the exact Sultan I sold; those are gone probably. But I want a pair of Noble Audio Sultans in house. I am a huge fan of that sound. It's unbelievably good bass and clarity and all the things. I'm a huge fan of the Noble Audio Sultan for an IEM, and despite having maybe the most technically advanced IEM in the world here in the Viking Ragnar. Is it over here? No, it's over there. That was it. These guys, I mean, an amazing, everybody should hear this headphone. I think it's that good, but the Sultan for me was like tonally perfect. It was just everything I love about an IEM in one little nugget. So I'm going to try and get, my plan is to have a special pair built by Noble for me. We just haven't found the right materials. I think I've talked about this maybe before. I don't remember. I don't remember what I had for lunch today. I know I didn't have meat though, because I've been going away from meat. But yeah, that would be the one that I would buy back. And I've always said this when I've sold something. I've sold some things that have upset viewers. Because I bought it and I listened to it and I had it for like 6 months, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to pass this on because I need to make room for something else. And boy, I got some hate anytime I sold something. You're selling the headphone that I own and I think is the best headphone ever. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I got it. I got to move the show along, man. I can't stick with the same thing in here forever. It's going to be a really boring show if I do. I can't come on every week and just talk about one headphone. It's not going to work. It's not going to be a very interesting show. It might be interesting for you, but for everybody else, they're going to be like, oh my God, if I hear one more story about the blah, 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 I'm going to die. People want to know about the Caldera here. They want to know about this magnificent, new creation from ZMF. They don't want to hear another story about the Sisfara, although people still like Sisfara stories, apparently. There you go. Neil, I'm so sorry about your amp being gone, but man, okay. Hipster Cow says, I think they canceled the Timeless 2, which is a damn shame because they look great. Yeah, they did. Did they cancel it? I missed that memo. Hipster Cow with the, man, good post, good update, my friend. Because I was like just waiting on that and waiting on it, and I pre-ordered. I sent them $1. You know how you do that with Linsol? You see, if it's a pre-order, they'll take $1 to hold your place in line. They never returned my $1. Damn it. Demand a refund. My gosh. But the Icon, by the way, Kevin Jacques, nice headphone, you know what I'm saying? Basically described his relationship with eStats, getting rid of them and then missing them. Yeah, I've not been, I mean, I didn't have eStats for a long time. I'm not planning on getting rid of my eStats, although I had listed my STAX at one point. I also listed my Sesfara at one point, because I thought I was ready to go in a different direction, and now I've got this amp in here that's capable of doing both electrostatics and I still have the KGS SHV, which is the best I've heard in the electrostatic space. So it's like, ah, man, there's so many good things. So I'm like, so I'm now I've rethought my STAX situation, and I'm keeping the STAX for now, and but I am selling the HM1. Neil Snyder is keeping his HM1. Well, that's good. I mean, it's a great amp. I mean, these are good problems to have, Neil. He sold his son at age 12, bought him at age 21. Neil going for comment of the day. Yeah, you want to skip those middle years. They can be a little problematic sometimes. Corey B placed an order for the Diana DZ blind. God bless 30-day return policies. Yeah, I hope so, because you don't want to be... That's a big chunk. Aren't those like $2.5 grand? What are they selling for? If only there was a website that sold a lot of stuff. Something like audio46.com. Audio 46 is my preferred place to go when I'm shopping for... You guys don't need to hear a commercial. The DZ is $4 grand. Holy schmolies. Goodness me. What's the regular Diana V2 selling for? TC. 45. Wow. Wow, all that glitters is gold in Abyss land. Holy criminy. Wow, and that's with a short cable. God, put a 3-meter cable on it and 145. Goodness me, oh my, oh. Wow. Well, wow, we almost had a water catastrophe here. Let's take a look at it, because I can. Let's go to the laptop of death. Why not? 6. Bing. Shot by brand. Abyss, we say. Here it is. Here's the Diana DZ. But it's a luxury. Oh, see, you're paying for the luxury, guys. Because none of their other stuff is luxury. This is the luxury version of the headphone. God, anybody watching this just must hate my guts. So it's at least $1 grand extra for luxury. Because otherwise you get the MR, which is not luxury, I guess. But goodness, look at this. So you can get a Damascus forged. They're both the same price. It's kind of a steel thing. And then, but look at the price jump when you put the cable in. Holy God. You can terminate whatever, but yeah, this is not a bad looking headphone though. I mean, it's pretty cool. I still want the regular Diana. Oh, these are the different options, okay, of this headphone. So you can do different things. You can get different looks. Kind of cool. Kind of expensive. What makes this one special? It's the latest evolution of the Abyss Diana series. Lightweight machined aluminum frame, highly engineered interactive internal structure providing strength, blah, 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 and planar dynamic driver. What makes the DZ special? It doesn't say. I wonder what the difference is between, what are you giving up by going down from the TC to the Diana DZ? These are good questions. These are things that I like to know. If somebody has an answer, please put it in the chat or drop me a line at directorsgarage@gmail.com. I'll take it off this time, JTB. But I wonder what the deal is. I wonder why that's, what makes it $500 cheaper, and yet it's the luxury version of it. Maybe the other one's the performance version of it. I don't know. Let's see where we're at here. We are we're at JTB. He says he's considering getting an HE-1000 Stealth or SE to be the king to the Atrium Yang. That would be the yin to the Atrium Yang if you're counting at home. Okay. Well, but you got rid of, you have the Atrium, you got rid of the Caldera. That's what you got rid of. Right, JTB? You still have the Atrium? Atrium's just remarkable. I think that headphone grows with me every time I listen to it. I think that's a remarkable piece of kit. I wind up listening to those a lot. The HE-1000 Stealth, I would go with the Stealth over the SE for me. I think the Stealth is a little less bright, but that's just my own taste. But yeah, you still get all that speed, that HiFiman sound. That's great. Anthony37 says, do you listen to IEMs on that HM1? Honestly, no, because when I'm at home, I don't have a reason really to be listening to IEMs. I don't need it quiet. I don't need the isolation. I'm at home. I'm in my space. There's not like a reason for me to use the IEMs at home, unless I'm like auditioning a pair. But I haven't had a pair of new IEMs in here to audition in a long time. I do have 3 small IEMs that are still in boxes that somebody sent me to review. I just haven't gotten to them. But, you know, I thought about maybe doing that on a live stream, unboxing the 3. They're cheaper. They're like in the $20 to $40 range. But I've heard good things about them, so I thought, you know, maybe. But the guy just sent them to me asking me to review them if I could. And I'm like, I'll do my best, man. But they've been here a few months now. Feeling kind of guilty about it, but at the same time, I'm like, do you want to see a couple of $40, $20 IEMs, or do you want to hear about the, about the Aegis and the, B21? The viewership difference between a cheap pair of IEMs and a B21 on this show is huge. It's literally more than 1,000 or 2,000 viewer difference. My IEM episodes don't rate with that well. People don't watch them that much. I still like doing them because I enjoy IEMs, and I think that they're terribly exciting. And it's the most exciting space right now in the entire headphone world because they're growing and they're getting so much better every time you do it. Every time they come out with the next generation. You look at even Mest, Unique Melody Mest, where that was from the first Mest to where the current Mest is. It's like, oh my God, how did they find even more? They found, they managed to get a richer, even better sound out of the Mest. And that was an impressive headphone, or IEM. So there you go. But I love the IEMs. I just don't, I tend not to do them as much on the show because they don't rate as well. That said, I'm a big fan of Noble and their stuff, so I do promote them because I just happen to think they're great. And I love, they're somebody who spends that much time and effort getting every little detail right on the thing, and the polish on them and all the things that they go through to get their IEMs looking as good as they do. It's like, it just impresses me. Anytime somebody has that dedication to craft and craftsmanship, I'm like, I'm going to call it out. And I feel the same way about ZMF. It's part of what I love about what they do is like they are hand polishing this stuff to no end, these cups, and making sure that they're all just right, and they're so beautiful, and you can look into these things for days and see something new every time you hold them up. Just amazing. This isn't my favorite cup in the world that Zach's ever done, but I do like the feel of these things. They feel really good, and that's part of what ZMF is about to me. It's that you want to hold them and use them, wear them, and flip switches and stuff, all the good things that you can do with ZMF products. Neil Snyder says he loves his Diana DZ, even plays well on his FiO M23 DAP. Oh, it's good to know that they're really efficient. I think the Dianas are tougher to drive, so maybe that's a big difference, is the TC is really, it's total consciousness, but it's also total amperage. It needs a lot of amps. That's good. Neil says, listen to the Fur Radon 6 IEM on the HM1. Wonderful. Yeah, I just don't have a reason, like, if I'm going to be sitting at home, I'm in this room. I don't even have, much use for closed backs in this room. They're great if they sound good and whatever, but I don't need to hold the sound in. The whole room's got sound baffling all over it, and the only one I got to worry about disturbing is Mrs. Director, who is upstairs watching the TV. So, you know what I mean? It's so great. JTB says, we need a luxury shootout, Abyss versus Meze. Yeah, if I got if somebody would send me that Diana MR, or what is it called? DZ? DZ. If somebody sent me the DZ, I'd shoot it out against the Meze Elite. I could do that. Blame the spell check. I blame you, my friend. Just kidding. Ace of Spades says HE-1000 SE is on sale for $1,700. It's normally $2K, correct? Yeah, and I've even seen those for cheaper than that. I've seen them as low as $1,600, I think, on some sales. But let's see where they. We can go back to this. Hang on. Just look it up. HiFiman. HiFiman, where are you? There he is. Shangri-La, Susvara, $6,000 still, $8,000 for the new one. HE-1000 SE, $1,700 here. I wonder if I saw a B stock or something. Maybe that's what I was seeing. But I've seen them for cheaper even, on occasion. The V2s are really cheap right now. V2s, where are the V2s sitting? Stealth, it's plain, that's this one, 14. I've seen them as low as like 12 and under. Amazing stuff. You're able to pick up that much headphone. It was a $3,000 headphone at one point, guys. Let's get back on camera because I can. Do you like the Ray's Music Exchange? You know what this is from, fellas? You get brownie points in the chat if you can tell me what this is from. Reviewer on HeadFi said the DZ was drawing soundstage comparisons to the HD-800S at the show. But also has great bass response and great timbre characteristics. So let me reread this. Corey B. First of all, cheers, Corey B. Welcome to the show. The DZ was drawing soundstage comparisons to the HD-800S open back, which is a nice wide headphone, maybe one of the widest out there. That and the Abyss 1266 TC, but also has great bass response and great timbre characteristics. Yeah, the 800S can get a little honky a little bit here and there. So yeah, I mean, Abyss makes great stuff generally. So, you know, I mean, boy, that's a lot of money though. From like what you can get for $4,000. Okay. I don't know. I'm not. I want to hear them first. That's one I would want to hear. But like you said, you know, you want at least a good return policy. So if you don't like them, you can say that. Neil says Ray Samuels is calling him his best friends. What does he mean? A $12,500 friendship? Yeah. that'll just for you. No, Ray is such a good guy, man. I wish y'all could have seen the chat we did with him, the hangover hangout we did with him, because it was just so much fun. So much fun. JTB says he's thinking the SE, and using the Lokius EQ tone to tame the treble. Okay, you can do that. You can make the SE sound like the Stealth or even the Meze Elite, from what he's read from SE owners. Well, it's going to have better speed than the Elite. The Elite's not slow like the Empyrean, but it's still not. You're not going to hear that and go, "Oh my God, this is a detail king." Still, the Elite in itself is just a great experience because it's not just about this. You know, it's got this nice warm sound, big, huge bottom end bass thumping. You can play with that with the different ear pads and stuff, which are magnetic and so lush. But the thing is that the comfort of that headphone. I mean, it's a headphone you don't want to take off. It feels so good. And all the other headphones are like, you know, get them off me, get them off me. So good. He'll send me my DZ as long as you don't touch them or wear them. That's awesome. Corey says, Neil, the DZ is live up. Neil, the DZ live up to the soundstage hype? JTB says, Blues Brothers, Ray Charles. Yes, this is Ray's Music Exchange was the shop that the Blues Brothers went into that Ray Charles ran when they went to buy their instruments. So they go in there, and there's a kid who's trying to sneak a guitar off the wall, and Ray shoots him. Oh, he's blind. He shoots 2 bullets in the wall right on either side of the guitar. Yeah, one of my favorite scenes. And I saw this shirt, and I just went, yeah, okay, all right. Gotta. JTB wins the brownie points of the day. Hipster Cow says, don't worry, Michael, once he loses his mind and buys the Massdrop 465, he'll send it my way for review. That's awesome. I look forward to that, because that's the only way it's the only way I'm going to be able to buy a Massdrop 465 and stay married. Hey, let's go to a viewer system. Let's check out this viewer system here. Okay, so let me go back over here, and this was sent to us. I got to find out who sent it to us real quick. Hang on, guys. I don't like to be wrong. I don't like to misrepresent. I got to talk about Billy Joel too. We should talk about that in a second. But let's go to this and find out. Oh, this is viewer David. David sent us these. Okay, so now I have a name. And then we'll go to downloads. Here we go. This is a nice little system. Let's see. No. There we go. And then we can open with preview. There we go. Alright, so let's go up. And then we'll go back to this. Hang on. Switcher by email. So viewer David sent us these, and here is his system. So we start out with you've got a ZMF Homage amp there, which is just I really like this thing, guys. I really like this thing. If it, you know, I've actually thought about buying one of these for my office, because I thought, man, that would be a really nice office desktop, you know, little amp for my computer at work. Nice solid state. Look at a beautiful build on that, though. That's great. And then he's pairing it with the bokeh, or bokeh if you prefer. I say bokeh, but it could be bokeh. Whoa. Hey, don't do that. There we go. So these are, and then down here we've got some other stuff. Hang on. Sorry if you, sorry if I just put you into an epileptic fit. That was not my intention. He's got a Dana Frips DAC, and then an Orchid Audio streamer, and then a case on the bottom. Hey, stop that. And then this is photo number 2 is just the headphones themselves, and that over there is the Meze, not the 109s, the Meze 109s. He's got the same headphone stand I do. I got my headphone stand off of Etsy, I think. I like this headphone stand. I think it's kind of fun, and I can hold 4 headphones, which is great for the show because I have too many headphones. But the Homage is the amp there. Check that out, man. That is fabulous. That is fabulous. Really nice stuff. So thanks to viewer David for sending this our way. And if you want to send your viewer system, we'll check it out. It doesn't have to be fancy photos. Doesn't have to be much of anything. Just go ahead and do it. Send it to directorsgarage@gmail.com, and we'll put your beautiful system. I love the wood grain on this too. Just check out the wood grain on the bokeh here. Bokeh burger. That's a beautiful grain on that headphone. Very nice, very tasteful. So good, so good. Man, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Love looking at these things. Send me your stuff because it's fun to do. It's fun to do. Everybody gives us something to talk about too. It's really fun. We did that. Okay. The Elite should have luxury in the name too, says JTB. Yes, that's true. Blues Brothers movie. Does he win a prize? He'll take the LCD4. LCD4 is for sale, but I have a hard time saying goodbye to that headphone because it's so good. Every time I think that I'm done with it, that I'm like, okay, I've got a lot of other things here that sound, that have more impressive attributes, but nothing puts it together quite like the LCD4. It's its own unique prospect. It's its own unique headphone, and it works well with tubes. It works well with solid state. It's a good all-arounder, and it's got tremendous bass. So it's like one of those headphones, like, yeah, I'll sell it because it makes sense to sell because I have so many other headphones here. It's a headphone that I don't want to sell. Does that make sense? It's just something that just makes sense to sell. Because I can't keep everything. It's ridiculous. I'm one person. I need, 2 or 3 headphones should be enough for this room. Not 15, which is what I've got. I've got to get rid of some of this stuff. I don't need a wall of headphones. Nobody needs that. It's too much. We'll keep the ones that we really like, and then we'll just kind of like. And I can always buy an LCD4 back if it's there's tons of them on the market. They're selling for a nice price though. $2,500 now is where they're pricing out. I'm selling mine for $21, but does have some mods on it. It's got some different ear pads. It's got a thicker top headband, which is really nice because it distributes the weight much nicer. Very good. Yes, DZ is magical on the cord, Dave. M Scalar and HM1. I would hope so. You've just listed, let's see, 15,000 for the Dave. M Scalar's another 4. HM1 is 7. Goodness me. Very satisfactory substitute for the 1266. JTB wants a bowling trophy. Ace of Spades offered him a cup. And a ribbon on top of that. Nice Ace of Spades. Well played. Cheers. Yeah, I love it when you guys send in your viewer photos. They're so much fun to look at. It's just exciting to see what other people are listening to. He's also even got some nice cables. I didn't even call attention to the cables. What was I thinking? Just look at the beauty of these cables he's got here. That's a Meze right there. I know that's a Meze cable because I know their weave. They do this herringbone style weave. That's probably a ZMF cable right there. That looks like a ZMF cable, if I had to guess. But very nice stuff, man. Again, he's got a nice color palette going on there. He's got a whole style thing working. David, nice job, David. Very cool. Very cool. JTB is still waiting on his Geshelli Jack. Jack. Where's the DAC, Jack? He's still waiting on his Geshelli DAC, and then he'll send some pics in. Please do, JTB. We want to see what you're working with over there, man. Very good. Ace of Spades has 11 headphones and 7 IEMs. We do have an addiction. I know. I don't need all this stuff, guys. I mean, just what's out, and that's not even what's in the shelves, because I got shelves with bins that are filled with headphones. And I've got like those I've got 2 different Fostex headphones. I've got the 1266, the X9000, the Mod House, the Atrium Open, the Caldera Open, the Sisvara, and the LCD4 are, and that's just what's out. That's just what's like sitting here. Like, it's terrible. Guys, it's terrible. What am I doing? I've just got too much of this stuff. And then but these aren't mine. These are going to go back. I won't keep these. Spoiler alert. Guess I don't have to do the review. No, I really, these are phenomenal. I just, you know, I have, the HD-820 has been sitting over there in a box for 4 months, 5 months probably. Haven't even opened them. It's like, why do I have the HD-820 if I'm not listening to them? I should sell them, send them on their way. I have the Meze Elite, hasn't been out and like used. I pulled them out the other day, but I didn't actually use them. I just pulled them out to see if they were there. Then I've got the Audeze CRBN. I've got the 007 Mark I from STAX. I've got 2 different Fostex headphones. I've got, you know, it's just too much. God, what am I doing? Why do I have all of this? Boys, we got a problem. Director's Garage has a problem. I'm talking about cash flow. I ought to be flowing these headphones out. And I have put some stuff up, but, you know. And I'm trying to move, like, I want to move the HM1 because I want to try something else. I don't know what that something else is. I'm on the fence between a couple of different products, but I got a good idea of where I'm going. But we got to see what we can sell. Very good. Hipster Cow says he has 9 headphones and 25 IEMs. Wow, you guys. IEMs, I have fewer, but I probably have a shocking number of IEMs too. Because I have 3 sets of wireless because I bought that Triumph that I did a little listen to live on the air and was like, I don't know about this one. But I've got the, you know, I've got all kinds of IEMs. I've got IEMs all over the place. I've still got, I don't even want to count them. There's so many. Oh, it's terrible. I've got 3 in boxes back there. I'm going to probably give them away. Shout out to Gene for recommending Arouge Aftab latest album is great. He gave his HE-1000 V2 a real workout. Hey, that's a good one, man. That's a good one. I didn't get to listen to it. And the reason I can't always jump on the suggestions and the reason I write them down in the chat is because when I'm doing critical listening like I am this week with the Aegis, I can't pull out stuff I'm unfamiliar with because it doesn't tell me anything. It's kind of like why I won't review the Aegis with the Caldera closed. I don't have a good handle on what the sound signature of this headphone is, and if I'm plugging an unknown into an amp that's unknown, how do I know which is doing what? What's bringing it warmth? What's bringing it, you know, like if I have a bass line of a headphone that I understand fundamentally, like the Caldera or like the Sisvara or, you know, pick your poison, Atrium, I know what the sound signature is that, so when I plug the amp in, I can kind of have a judge on what the amp is bringing to that headphone that a different amp was not. So if I'm playing a different cut of music that I'm used to, that I'm unfamiliar with, I don't know what it normally sounds like on my regular rig. So that's why we have test tracks and why we use these specific tracks that I use, all the time I'm using like Los Lobos Dream in Blue, and I use some Grateful Dead, and, you know, like these are familiar tracks for the Mac. These are familiar tracks, even, and then in the jazz, I go to, you know, I have Thelonious Monk and Miles and Cannonball Adderley. Like these are albums that I know really, really well. I've been listening to them for 20, 30 years. And so they give me a good baseline on what the variable is in the equation, which is in this case the amp. So I've got to make it look different. I just got to listen to familiar stuff, and putting something that is new to me through an amp, I don't know what it's supposed to sound like, or what it has sounded like in the past, because it's new to me. So that's the whole deal with that. JTB says, do you actually use all 11 headphones, or are you just attached and you can't sell any collecting dust? It's a really good question. And for me, I mean, I'm using a lot of them, but I'm trying to sell off the ones I'm not using, JTB. The HD-820, I'm just not using it anymore. And there's something that's really cool about the soundstage in that headphone, but tonally it's not perfect. And I think there are people who say it's totally garbage, and I disagree with them. I think it's a pretty good headphone, but it has a point of view, and you're going to get a certain point of view when you put that headphone on. And if you don't like that point of view, then you're not going to want to hear it, you know. But I've got those Fostex headphones over there. Those are beautiful, and they're all selling for a premium now. The TH-X00s, still legendary headphones from 10 years ago, and they sound so good. They sound so good. They have bass. If you like bass, man, those give you bass, and I've got 2 different versions of it. And then the Meze Elite was kind of the odd man out right now, because although they're the most comfortable, and I've traveled with those because they're so great and so easy to drive. I don't have a place for them right now because I'm testing all this gear that stresses equipment. So I'm pushing through my harder to use headphones to see if, you know, it doesn't tell me much if the Aegis can drive the Meze Elite great, because anything can drive the Meze Elite great. It's the hard headphones, the Sisfara, the Modhouse, you know, those are the ones, the 1266, those are the headphones that are hard to drive, and you know, it tells me something about this amp's power if it's capable of really pushing a headphone into slam, you know what I mean? So there's always that to consider too. So that's part of the reason that some of these headphones don't get used. It's like, as much as I love the sound of the Fostex, it's like they're super easy, they're crazy easy to drive. So using them doesn't, I can get a qualitative, you know, evaluation of a sound because I do know what they sound like, but at the same time, like, why would I when I've got the Sisfara here that's got all this extra resolution, and it's very hard to drive, and if something can drive it, that tells you a lot about the product you're listening to. That makes sense? I went off on a whole thing there. Sorry, boys. It's Wednesday. Cheers. We're almost done. We're going to wrap this up shortly. Had a lot of fun today, though. Sorry I got started late. I don't always want to, you know, I like to come out at the same time every week. Makes for consistency. And I had a really late, what was I going to say? I totally forgot. Mind spaced. I had a late something. God, I had something to say. I don't remember. Welcome to my world, guys. I really need to start drinking more. Too fun. Oh, my gosh. Ace Spade says he has 8 headphones he uses regularly, and the others are packed. He has a cheap pair that he puts in new amps for testing. And when he rotates op amps in the Burson, he always uses the cheap headphone first. You have to make sure that if you blow it up. Good point. Well thought out there, Ace of Spades. Nice going. Anthony 37 says, you're exposing yourself thinking all of your headphones, IEMs, etc. I hope Mrs. Director is not watching the show from upstairs. Mrs. Director couldn't care less about this show. No, she knows I have a lot of stuff, and you know, I mean, in fairness, I didn't pay retail for almost anything. All this stuff is bought on, you know, on the used market, so that when I go to sell it, I'm losing a couple of $100, not a couple of $1,000. That's the big difference. There are a few headphones that I bought new that I shouldn't have. The Audeze CRBN, not the wisest decision. The Clark Audio Expanse, not the wisest decision. We'll tell you that point blank. Expanse was sold a couple weeks ago, though. But I did not. I took a bath on that headphone. Goodness me. But I have no shame. I have no shame about any of this stuff, guys. I'll talk about any of it because I think that we get too elite in this hobby. There's this whole elite thing going on. Like, oh, I wouldn't How dare you, sir, listen to a headphone on a cable that has 2 strands? A 2-stranded cable. Your cable needs to come from Mount Olympus and be blessed by the gods of copper. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like I think we oversell the elitism in this hobby too much. We don't need to do that. There is something just as good about this setup here. David, who's got this wonderful little solid state setup with the Homage amp and this beautiful bouquet and this nice Meze 109 over here. This is a great setup. This is something we could all enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to tear somebody down for what they've got, or what they can afford or whatever. It's like, no, you've got a really nice sounding setup. The rest of us are nuts for chasing half this crap. It's just, we do it because we do it because we do it. We do it because we can, not because we should. JTB smart, and I usually end up selling headphones and gear before acquiring something new. Well, yeah, that's it. That's it for me. It's like, whatever my next move is going to be amp-wise, and I'm moving the Zale out after only 6 months. I didn't anticipate doing that, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to move it. I'm just going to take a loss on it, but it's not going to be a massive loss. It's still going to be a loss, but whatever. That's how you get somebody to buy something, is you give them a discount. The Zale I had to buy new because there was none for sale. I wanted to get the amp, and everybody was talking about how great the amp is, and it is a great amp. But there are caveats to that amp that I didn't understand before I bought it, and now I know what they are because I own the amp. But fundamentally, the build on that amp is there's great stuff about it. But I'm going to have to sell it before I do the next move because I need the cash, which is why people are going to hit me up on HeadFi all the time saying, would you trade that for my Burson? Like, no, I'm not trading you an HM1 for Burson. Well, I really want to hear what that Zale sounds like. I'm like, yeah, and I'm not going to take a $5,000 hit on that amp so that you can hear my Zale. I got to tell you, the ridiculous offers and people are offended when I say, I don't think so. Do you know? Yeah, I know. And no, I'm not going to sell it to you for $4,000 under what I paid for it. I'm sorry, that's not happening. That's not the world we're living in right now. Neil says, if there's anyone in the San Francisco area, you can come over to his mountain compound and listen to the Ray Samuels B21 when it arrives. I'm proud you ordered that, and I'm glad Ray has confided in me he's made 4 or 5 sales off of that video, and that makes me feel good that he's getting actual sales out of that video, because he's a great guy and he's built an amp that he's always dreamed of making. This is probably his last build. I just couldn't be more happy for Ray, that people are showing him love and showing him interest in something that he's put his heart and soul into. And that's why I think ZMF, we talk about these brands, ZMF is now a major brand, but they were a small brand when they started, We'll talk about that a little bit in the next episode. Very good, though. JTB says, when selling headphones or audio gear, you need to accept the fact that you are going to take a beating and never recoup the money you paid. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I expect to, but at the same time, I can't just give it away. I wish I could. If I get up to 1 million subscribers, JTB, start opening email accounts, stuff, extra YouTube stuff. If I got up to 1 million subscribers and this show's making money hand over fist, God, I'd be giving away stuff left and right. Because I want you guys to hear this stuff, and I want to be able to share it. And I don't mind taking hits on stuff, but when I'm in this situation where, you know, show loses money every year. Lost 30 grand last year on this show. I'm like, I can't afford to just give shit away. I wish I could. I wish I could sell it for pennies and pennies on the dollar, but I can't. So I try to be reasonable and I try to justify it in my head. And I'm like, well, I think $1,500 off of list for a current model that's in a box, in the original box, and it's been used well and, you know, not abused, not like, you know, jamming weird voltages into it and stuff, just used and used nicely. Pretty good deal. You know, you save $1,500, you don't have to wait and get it now, you know. I'd take that deal. That's why I also think about what I would pay for it. You know what I mean? I try to be fair. But then if it doesn't sell, you got to drop the price because you realize you're overpriced for what the market will bear. I've had some offers on, like I said, I've had some offers on the Zale already. It's just, I'm like, I don't want to take that big a loss on it. Neil says $825 for unopened The Audio Monarch Mark II. Please, someone buy. There you go. Talk to Neil. Put those things on Headphone, Neil. That's where you sell stuff. People, you'll have those things sold in no time. Although the Mark II, is that old now? I don't know. Yeah, there's a Mark III, isn't there? Monarch Mark III. Chance D says, Director, got a record for you. Staples Junior Singers. Staples Junior Singers. Title of the album is Searching. Give it a try. Well, you know I'm a huge Staples Singers fan. I have a reel-to-reel of like an original one off the master from the tape project of the Staples Singers. It's the one with Respect Yourself. Can't remember the name of it. I don't think it's called Respect Yourself. Staples Singers albums. It is Respect Yourself. How about them apples? B Altitude, Respect Yourself, Staples Singers. There you go. Yeah, I did get that right. But I have that on reel-to-reel. It's phenomenal sounding. It's so good. They could groove. That's that. I don't know where they recorded, if they recorded in Atlanta or if they were recording in Memphis, but they have that Memphis sound to them. They're so good. Staples Junior Singers, though. Different group, huh? Okay. We'll check them out. Thank you, Chance. Hipster Cow, huh? He joined this hobby specifically for the elitism. You're telling me that we don't need it? I just want to feel superior to everyone, damn it. JTB wants to be told by elitist snobs what he likes. I know, man. Hipster Cow, trade me a broken AirPods and a handful of peanuts for your HM1. Exactly. Oh my God, I'm telling you. I think the sooner you can move the Zale, the better. The market is soft right now, and the amps will not hold value over time. I agree with that. I think that there's something to that. I think moving it now makes sense. It's still the latest version of that amp, though. Like and that amp is really good. So I'm hoping that I can move it. I think I've got it priced right. Who knows what the market will tell me what it can bear. But there's I don't think there's any other ones out there right now. Is there? US Audio. Let's see what's out there. Is there, because I have a saved search for this. Save search. Yeah, there's only I have the only one for sale right now in the US anyway. So, hopefully somebody's really looking for it and they want to get that in because it's worth having. It's a great amp. I just want to go somewhere else, for the sake of the show. So yeah, I agree that the market's soft, but I also have the only one for sale on the used market apparently. So that gives me a little something. a little flag place to plant a flag. Neil's, oh, it's the Mark III. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's Mark III IEMs. These are not the original Staples Singers, but they're a totally different group. Let's look that up. Staples Jr. Yes, you're, well. Huh, that's interesting. It says here it's an older group. Well, let's see. I'll show you what I'm looking at. If I can find a web page. Hang on. Here. Let's take a look. Last thing, and then we're going to go. We'll say goodbye for the day. Staples Junior Singers. Four generations and counting, Aberdeen, Mississippi. Looks good. Edward and R.C. Brown and Annie Brown Caldwell. There you go. Got a whole bunch of big happy things said about that. In 1975, when the Staples Junior Singers were just teenagers, they got to make a single together. Okay, there you go. So they've been singing together a long time. They must, I don't know. Maybe they named themselves after the original Staples Singers. Who knows? But it's kind of cool. All right, well, check them out. Check them out, guys. That's your homework assignment for the week, I guess. Hey, everybody. I want to thank you guys for stopping by today. Hope you enjoyed our little hangout, our little Wednesday happy hour hangout and Humpday happy hour hangout. And I'm sorry I got on the air a little late, but we're getting off the air a little late too, so it all balances out in the end. Tip your waiters and waitresses on the way out the door. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on the thingy. And we have a new episode coming next week, and in probably 2 weeks after that, we'll have the full review of this B21 Rada. And then on top of that, I've got a Caldera review and then a very, very cool thing coming that I think is going to just blow you away anyway. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming up. So like, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you guys all before you know it. So make sure you guys just have a great rest of your week. And Nephilim comes in. Damn Euro Cup. Cheers. Get out of here, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Our hangout, Humpday, happy hour hangout. Let's get drunk at the director's garage.